Yo, what is up, guys? It is Sleeping Savannah here today doing another range day vlog. So today we're going to be going over how I'm starting to begin to work on my split times. This covers last weekend, so you guys will see this upload on May 17th. However, this is covering the previous weekend of shooting, and I did a very high round count practice session across 2 days, I guess you could say, mainly focused on working on my splits, with another movement drill kind of at the end that we'll go over. Before we get into it, I'll go over my gun. It's a Glock 19 Gen 5 with an agency arm drop-in trigger and a ghost connector, I think ultimate connector, which is like 3 pounds or something, the 3.0, with a ghost connector spring kit, a TLR1, and a Holosun 507, I think, red dot, but not the comp, not the big window, with suppressor high night sights. So we're going to kind of get into the first drill. This is just some B-roll of me loading up because I did end up shooting 900 rounds across the weekend. The first drill I've been starting off my range days with, and you'll see it going forward, is this one-shot return. The trainers I really like to follow on YouTube recommend this. So in this particular clip, I'm not using an aiming reference, but I can see the A zone, and I'm pulling the trigger and as fast as I can driving the red dot back into place. I shoot this drill a little fast. In reality, it should be a slower drill, and you're really just working on getting that red dot with the right grip pressure back to 0. But this really helps with the splits. So the next drill I run is also from the same trainers. Ben Stoker, I talk about him a lot, is the double tap drill, and I run it. This target's about 5 yards away, 4 to 5 yards away, and the double tap drill really kind of exposed a weakness in my doubles, in my split times. So you can see here, I've already kind of shot some of it, but you draw from the holster, you're not worrying about draw times, and you're shooting 8 shots, gaps in between each pair, so 4 pairs of 8 shots. So you can see me doing, I maybe could rest a little more, but you're trying to shoot them as fast as possible and get the tightest group as possible. So I discovered that my split times, which I've done some research, are not good on my Glock 19 with the specs below. We're about like 2 or 0.24 to like 0.25, specifically when I was running this drill. I discovered that, and sometimes when I run this drill, it really is still those times. But what I would like to do is cut down to 1 or 0.18, which is very I'll pause here, very good time for a Glock. Actually, kind of hard to do with the stock triggers to get to a 0.18 split time. The conventional thinking I've heard is that with race guns, you want to look at a 0.14, but even then it's not necessary. If you can hit a 0.20, which is, I'm talking in time here, 0.20 between split shots or split time when you're double tapping a target, excuse me, that is a really good time to be. I'm looking to get to 0.18. It's a pretty aggressive goal, but I'm looking to get there. Near the end of this weekend, so last weekend, I was getting pretty consistently I'd say 50% of the time, 0.19, and that's just from one weekend practicing, messing with my grip pressure. As you can see here, there was a pause before I started shooting. The big takeaway, and I want to cover this before I get back in the shooting, but the big takeaway, or I'll play it, is after shooting the doubles drill, or I'm still shooting it here, noticed the tension in my right hand. So I really started to kind of focus on loosening the ligaments in my right hand while I hold the gun, holding it stable, but still trying to be loose. You can see there's a lot of tension, and I'm really trying to have my support hand, my left hand, take over, which I noticed a lot of times my support hand is just kind of along for the ride. So that's been something I'm trying to fix. How do I fix that? As you can see, I have a new target here, and I'm doing, oh no, I'm still doing doubles, excuse me. But I eventually switch to build drills, but I don't try to sprint out of the holster. I really try to make it not about pulling the gun out of the holster. It's getting the grip tension I want, so relaxing my right hand and just spraying 6 rounds at the target. I swear out of the 900 rounds, I probably did 400 to 500 of the rounds on that, and that's how I was able to get faster hit times on the doubles drill when I went back to it. So this weekend was very much kind of what I'm covering and showing you guys. It was very much an experimental weekend, trying to figure out how to get the par times. You can see it there. I did 6, and then I did 6 again, and then in between the video cut, I reviewed my times, and I'm just trying to get the right trigger squeeze, the right tension in my hands, and then here, you can't really see it, but putting my finger consistently in the same place on the trigger and pulling it as fast as I can, not really wasting any movement. So as you watch, I kind of pull it out, and I'm messing with the grip tension. I don't immediately pull the trigger. I'm trying to relax the tendons in my arms. You can see they get pretty tense, so I'm trying to battle that habit. I'm not even pacing the target or worrying where my hits are going to go. I'm just worried about what the split time says. It's an expensive way to practice, but I have 3 years under my belt of doing the wrong thing. So this is really what I've been working on. And even today, as I upload this, I'll upload this on the 17th of May, which is today when I'm editing it. I went to the range. You guys will see a vlog, and I did some of this and was able to get .19s again. And it's going to take a lot of round count because I've been shooting for 3 years competitively and been putting a lot of tension into my right hand. So I'm really just trying to break the habit. And once I can break the habit and get the split times I want for the gun, I think .18 for stock guns is pretty aggressive, but it's a pretty ambitious goal. But I have an updated trigger, which is why I dropped that information at the beginning of the video and try to include it, and an upgraded connector. So I feel like that's where I'd like to be. Nothing wrong with two flat or .20. So what is that? 1/5 of a second. Nothing wrong with that, and that honestly might be where I compete at, like on competition days where I kind of hover to be comfortable. But I'd like to be able to shoot that in the doubles drills, so the ones where it's 8 shots. For repetitions of double tapping, I'd like to shoot a tight group with a 1-8 split in between each one. So I'll be doing a lot of this, and it's going to cost a lot in ammo, decent amount of range time and live fire. It's something you can kind of work on a dry fire, but you really can't. As discussed by many trainers, but I've been seeing results doing this scheme of practice, so I just kind of wanted to share that with everybody, that I've been seeing success, and hopefully in the future I can tell you, hey, my groups are getting tighter and I'm staying at the speed that I'm shooting at. So I'm also shooting 115 grain. I don't really know, or I'm sure I've been told that 124 is a lot better, and it makes a big difference, but I think I'll upgrade to 124, I guess when I'm happier with my splits and I need something to drive me over the edge. Maybe I plateau for a long time and 124 could help me out. However, I did a whole video on it, HSL ammo, and I've bought a huge bulk amount of it now at a very cheap price, so I'm sticking with 115 just cost-wise. Because I can get it for pretty cheap, so I'm willing to stick to a maybe less effective grain. Because right now I'm just kind of working on the fundamentals. I don't think the grain I shoot is going to make a huge difference just yet in my shooting career. I think once I get higher up, you can see. And then in the thumbnail, you can see right there, you can see the hole in the target beginning to develop because I put so many rounds through it. This was Sunday of last week. Saturday I came out with a buddy and I did more of this drill. So we shot about 300 to 400 there. But yeah, you can see I was really beating this target up, and I stabled another, or there was a target underneath it, so I've been just shooting. So now we're kind of getting into the movement drill. On this day, we did a lot of doubles drills, and the one-shot return, so we did the standard session. Then we put out cones, and we did a movement drill. This is a drill I've been messing around with. It was actually my buddy's idea, but it's helping us get used to moving on or shooting on the move. Moving and shooting, if you will. It's 5 shots as we walk towards it, walk from the 10-meter mark to the 5, and then 5 shots as you walk backwards. And it's just timing it, trying to roll our feet correctly. It's really more familiarization, and it was something that I'd never tried before. I liked it. I'm not crazy certain it's the most effective thing on earth. Honestly, I can't speak intelligently on it, but I really did like it. You can see the 2 cones there marking the range. And that's a little tip. Always bring cones or sticks or something to mark your range when you're shooting at the range, so you know what distance you're exactly shooting from. But yeah, I decided to throw this in at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this is helpful, kind of seeing my process on how I'm getting faster split times. I know I rambled for a bit, but if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer, and I'll post more videos about my split times as we move further. So thank you again, and have a great day.